Democratic Socialist candidates all over this country have been winning major victories.
Zohran Mamdani and Bernie Sanders took to the stage earlier this week with other New York City Democratic Socialist hopefuls, and the right should honestly be panicking right now because the energy of the nation is on the side of the progressives like never before, and liberal and conservative media alike do not know how to react. And this rally was just another amazing example of how the power is truly in the hands of the people. Just take a look at this crowd when Bernie walked on stage. I don't think an establishment Democrat has seen a crowd with that level of energy in years, and it's just another Thursday for Zohran and company. And Mamdani actually used this opportunity to sharply criticize the Democratic Party not focusing on the needs of the American people, which will inevitably lead to failure in 2028. And it is pissing the establishment off.
New York's Democratic Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani says that the Democratic Party, as it currently exists, will not win the presidential election in 2028 unless they start electing more progressive candidates beginning in Tuesday's New York primary.
It will fall short of 270 electoral votes because the party of the past will not be what leads us into the future. For we need a Democratic Party with backbone.
And the energy in that room did not slow down at all when Zohran rightfully started to attack some of the, as he describes them, monsters in current American politics, which includes AIPAC.
And we need that because, as Gramsci once wrote, the old world is dying and the new world struggles to be born. Now is the time of monsters. These monsters take many forms today. In those who fund television ads that blanket the airwaves with misleading and bad faith attacks about Claire, Brad, and Dari. Those who would rather spend far more on political contributions than they would ever be made to pay in taxes. In AIPAC, for whom the only thing more frightening than democracy being allowed to run its course is an end to genocide and Netanyahu's wars. They move millions in dark money to accomplish a single goal, to preserve their power so that they can turn us against one another, instead of our leaders turning towards the moral change we all know to be necessary. In a politics that for too long has asked working people to lower their expectations, to settle for less, to become satisfied with small victories while our wages grow even smaller and our costs grow even larger. To resign ourselves to resignation, to accept the unacceptable. In the wealthiest city, in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we need not live in fear of monsters any longer.
And Mamdani is right. AIPAC and the interests of Israel have been a negative force in U.S. politics for decades. And especially now that Israel feels more empowered than ever in their solidarity with the U.S., their leaders are saying some of the most unhinged and horrific shit I have ever seen. This was written earlier this week by Itamar Ben-Gvir, Israel's Minister of National Security, and he said, "For every tear of an Israeli mother, 1,000 Lebanese mothers must weep. All of Lebanon must burn." Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that because Zohran is probably in the majority on this one that is a horrific statement. And there is obviously more, but we won't even get into that because the vast majority of the rally did focus on the major victories that progressives have been winning all across the country, as well as focusing on some hopefuls that are going to join that list. And Bernie actually listed out some of the major success stories that we've already been seeing to a crowd of cheering supporters.
Lilia Mejia, a labor organizer, first time running, took on the establishment candidates in New Jersey. She's now the congresswoman. Adam Hamawi, a U.S. Army combat surgeon, saved lives in Iraq, traveled to Gaza as a volunteer doctor to take care of kids. He is going to win his election, congressman from New Jersey. Graham Plattner. 4 tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan, never ran for public office before, defeated the establishment candidate, the governor. Is going to become the next senator from Maine.
And that is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Bernie also shouted out Bob Brooks, Brian Poindexter, Sam Forstag, Randy Villegas, Chris Rabb, Jane Kim, and Janice Lewis George, right? All of whom have won major progressive victories across the United States. One of the candidates now vying to join that list is Brad Lander, who ran against Zohran Mamdani last year for the mayoral election out in New York and is now running for Congress with the support of both Zohran and Bernie Sanders. And he had some incredible things to say at the rally. Take a look.
Zohran and I cross-endorsed last year. I'll admit, it started with the shared goal of saying good fucking riddance to Andrew Cuomo. Don't tell my mom I said that. Sometimes you need an opponent to get your team motivated, but it became something much deeper. Proof that politics don't have to be a cage match. Politics can be a team sport for the city we love and the values we share. That's solidarity.
Yes, exactly, right? That is solidarity. That is exactly what we need more of in this country, and we need more leaders like Zohran Mamdani and Bernie Sanders using their voices to influence and generate buzz around candidates like Brad Lander, Claire Valdez, and Daria Liza Chevalier, right? All of whom have their primaries on Tuesday and are running against some establishment Democrats, including Chevalier, who is running against Adriano Espaillat, the 71-year-old U.S. representative from New York's 13th, and it is a tight race, so we'll have to see where that one goes. But honestly, they might be fine with all the coverage Fox News is giving them because it's just free press at this point.
We've had it with corporate Democrats who don't know what time it is. This is not the time for strongly worded letters.
We can stand unapologetically with our trans siblings. We can put our bodies in the way of the deportation machine.
These candidates are energized and ready for a fight. They truly are the future of the Democratic Party. And as Mamdani says here, we here on the left have something that these corporate stooges on both the right and the Democratic establishment do not have.
Something that crisis does not. Something far stronger. We have a love of our neighbors that can be heard in bodegas and $9 coffee shops alike. A love that is not driven by age or race or status, by a working class solidarity and a fundamental understanding that only together can we win that which we deserve. Only together can we win housing that's affordable, wages that recognize our worth, and a government in which there is no task too big and no job too small.
And whatever happens comes Tuesday when it comes to these races, we will be sure to cover it here at US Dems because these races, as Zohran mentions here, are crucial to winning, not only in 2026, but also in 2028, because we need to actually be pushing forward strong progressive candidates ready to properly take on the Republican Party and the establishment Democrats alike, because both serve the same interests of capital at the very top, the same billionaires and now trillionaires who are influencing them with their money and lobbyists and oil tycoons and all these kind of things that are have been influencing our politics for generations. So if you agree that the future of the Democratic Party lies within the progressives and the Democratic Socialists, be sure you subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this and more. So do all that good stuff and have a great day. I'm Iago Lashua. Goodbye.